right, lads, we are back in a new year episode presented to you by Bollock Studios, where football continuously nutmegs the nonsense. So, of course, look, new year, man, and what a start. We have gone from United having a good evening match. Of course, we apologize. We did not have 2 episodes we did not cover on the previous games as well, but we'll do our very best to address them as well. And we've gone from draw, Chelsea and Newcastle drew, and then they came back with a win. And I mean, only last week I think they came back with a win, a very good win between Burnley and Newcastle. But of course, both the clash of the United clash, Man United and Newcastle. But of course, Man United got the win, so we'll be covering that. And what, man, we have gone from that to we are not sure if Maresca was actually dismissed, or some reports saying that he resigned. We don't know yet, but of course we would like to gather everyone's thoughts on that as well. And out of all that, we start the year with Ruben Amorim sacking. So this is, I know it's a very hot topic. It's gone berserk in the media. Pundits, we're gonna touch on pundits as well. Yeah, I know we had a dig with Jamie Carragher, but Gary Neville, you're not alone, yeah. We're coming after you, man. But of course, look, jokes aside, before we get into all the agenda, Kuhan, Sharif, how are we, man? How has the new year kick-started for you boys?
Good. Life resumes. Everything. KPI starts.
Holiday stops.
Holiday stops and all that, man. Tell us about it, man. Yeah, and of course, we welcome back Sharif, man, who is gone for a very short vacation. What was that word to say hello? It's a short vacation to South Korea. Sorry,
You're gonna get banned.
No. Hey, joke. So, what was that word? Annyeonghaseyo, is it?
Annyeonghaseyo.
Wow. Yeah, so he has gone from minus 10 degrees. Was it minus 10 degrees weather? And now back to minus 3. So from minus 3, now he's back to reality at plus 35. Hot as hell. Tropical. Yeah, man. So of course, Sharif, welcome back, man. Welcome back to the clan, man. Really good to see you once again. And and let's get into it, shall we? So of course, before we get into just covering a little bit on the previous matches and all, Kuhan,
yes,
you have things to dig on these Chelsea fans. On a side note, you were talking about. So maybe you want. Start with that first.
Well, I have a close friend who's a Chelsea fan, and he's a massive Chelsea fan. So
right,
when asking about Maresca being sacked, he said that we trust our sporting director, we trust our owners. We have done this before many times, and we win cups. So we have the youngest squad who can win World Club Championships and Europa Conference. So we don't care. The next manager comes, we don't like, we move. We still in the top 4. We are awesome.
Ooh.
So this is how the reply I get lah. So trust your sporting directors, trust your owners, and this is how far we go. This is the Chelsea way. And the other dick he did was only Chelsea can do it.
Sharif, if you have anything to add on that,
please.
No, I mean, my mood is not that how I'm happy that Chelsea fans are very optimistic and confident, right?
Yep.
With the removal of Maresca and with the only title of club champion or whatever you call it, right?
They beat PSV for that final, and they beat Barcelona in the Champions League. So it's like they're arrogant, they're proud. I kind of like that.
Yeah, credits to them, but I do think also as well for them to be in the position they are right now, it was not like just like a light switch, right? When they just switch to a new manager and then they see, they were also stumbling down the table, right? So, but yeah, if they want to go through, or if they enjoy those, what do you call that, those moments, those
Mm-hmm.
episodes, then that is a different fan, right? But yeah, trust your owners and trust your directors.
Trust
Wow.
your owners,
Oh,
trust your sporting director, Chelsea fan. Come on,
oh, those
yeah,
are very big words
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah,
fans.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, of course, considering Enzo Maresca's record his stats at Chelsea, right? With in charge of 92 games, 55 wins, 16 draws, 21 losses, but of course, two trophies, right?
Yeah, two
Um,
trophies.
yeah, I mean, I'm just curious lah,
And they
who would.
beat European elites in the process.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, exactly, right. But of course, what's next for Chelsea? We are yet to find out,
I
obviously. But
think
now,
there's a new manager, right? Signed up, buddy.
yeah, I
Yes, yes.
think, yeah, there is already. So yeah, let's see, man, how they do after this. I mean, of course, they're not too far off from from the table, like with the top teams and all on top the table, the top fours or the top
Yeah,
fives. I
a
don't
bit.
think they're too.
They're like
Yeah, they're not
three
too far
points
off,
from the
right?
top four. I mean, the number four position.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah. So how did that contribute, man, to, of course, touching a little bit on the Chelsea and Newcastle match previously, and of course the build up to the Man United and Newcastle
Okay.
and all that. So take us through, man.
I mean, I know that we could beat Chelsea and at home because it's not something we have never done before. Well, last
Mm-hmm.
under Eddie Howe. The
Mm-hmm.
same thing, I also know that we could have beaten MU as well. It was
Yep.
very disappointing to be beaten by that MU.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the Chelsea one was a draw, a mistake for Malik Chow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it. I mean, brilliant first half, the best first half I've seen all season
Mm-hmm.
for Newcastle. They were pushing Chelsea behind. With MU game, they were tepid. They were not up to it,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't treat it like a big game. I think that was very disappointing. They treated it like, oh, it's
Mm.
like a normal team. We can play our game, and it's like terrible. Although they hold a lot of the ball, had more chances, and all these things all. And then only the last two games was good. They started to win back to back games. Nick Pope is back.
Mm-hmm.
So the Aaron Ramsdale experiment failed. So Nick Pope is
But
back. Got us our clean sheet.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, last game was good, and
Mm-hmm.
Visa made a lot of difference in the last game. He didn't score, but you could see that how he's dragging out defenders, running off the shoulder. That was a big win. And the best part, I think, to summarize everything, of course, as I mentioned, it's a mixed season.
Mm-hmm.
We have Lewis Miley, who is Newcastle
Oh, yes.
19 years old player
Mm-hmm.
who has played in Champions League, I think 2 seasons ago when he was 17 years old, and now
Mm-hmm.
he's starting, but he's starting as the right back,
Mm,
and he is incredible in right back actually.
I agree.
Yep.
I
So
agree.
I mean, he had like 100% passing completion in right back. You will see the highlights of it.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
It's amazing actually, and the funny thing is that if you guys listen to, I mean, if you guys read or watch Dune, the movie,
Yep.
so the main character is called Lisan Al Gaib, so
Yeah.
which literally means the voice from outside in that
Mm-hmm.
thing. So now he's known as Luis Al Gaib among the Newcastle fans.
No.
It- yeah, so I mean, it's nice to see, and that's about it. Mixed season as usual, and it's has been a very good last two games actually. Because if I'm gonna touch with some of the results, the last two results with both those wins are putting
Mm-hmm.
Newcastle at almost 5 points from fourth place, which is Chelsea, which they
Mm-hmm.
draw.
Mm-hmm.
This game and the previous game, Chelsea also draw two games. MU also draw two games. What is this? City draw two games. Sunderland draw two games. All
Yep.
these is being favorable. If at all Liverpool would have won, or either Chelsea or City would have won, then the top four will be a mini league by itself. So
Yep.
this last two games was significant for teams which are chasing for the top four position or the top
Mm-hmm.
five for European, I mean UCL places. So that's why it has
Mm-hmm.
been a really good week. It makes the competition more open. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
my take on it.
Yeah, actually, I can agree, lah. The competition is very open. It's still very open, right? And so of course, Sharif, to add on anything that what you expect
No,
from
no, no.
Newcastle?
I
You
think
think?
Newcastle. I think. I like earlier days as well. Like Kuhan been mentioning. They always start slow and then they slowly builds up,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and I'm just looking at the table. It's not that far. It's a very condensed table.
Yep.
Yep.
It's how you look at it, right? Some might see it's already a mini league where the first until the third position is already them,
Yep.
and then where you have
Mm.
the fourth position
What position?
until the 14 positions, which is
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
only like what
5 points.
Averaging.
I almost called Kugan Ruben Amorim, man. But
For the viewers, huh?
For a view.
I almost called
Don't
Ruben
get
Amorim, man. Oh my god.
Uh,
Yeah, from the fourth position is only like what 7 or 8 points
that's
behind
not very far.
That's not very
exactly
far.
It's not
that's like
far.
two games, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like anyone can can fight for the top four of top five for Champions League position, right?
Yep.
But yeah, the first and second and third position is like they are running away, man.
I
Oh,
think.
exactly.
The City just draw last 2 games, and Villa lost their. I think they lost against City. I think last game, right? Before
Mm-hmm.
the last results, which I can't remember who they beat actually. So that is the.
Mm-hmm.
The fourth table is Arsenal with running away with the league, which is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, but of course, just a segue from that. Um, Speaking of of the ones in the top four now, you have Aston Villa there. So considering their consistent run in form
Mm-hmm.
and how they obviously masterclass United, um, but of course, do you think they are? Do any of you both think that they are serious title contenders this season? Aston
Mm,
Villa.
I think if Arsenal drop points, then yes. Because you have to
Mm-hmm.
understand, Villa have European games around, but I think also Arsenal is pressed to play all the competitions and they
Mm-hmm.
are under pressure to win. So now they're in a very comfortable position. We don't
Mm-hmm.
know how comfortable they are being the leaders. I'm not sure which one is easier. Is it easier chasing or is it
Mm-hmm.
easier to lead?
For me,
So,
chasing.
Yeah, true, sir.
so I think it's for you is which one is it?
Chasing.
I also think
Chasing,
chasing
huh?
is yeah.
You got something to look for, right? And
Yeah.
where else when you're leading, you always look behind. I think that's how Arsenal bottle up for the last three seasons, right? Because
Yeah, I think it's on one way to
Yes.
one way to look at it. It's like it's gearing towards bottle, right? Like slowly, right? But having said that, watching a few games they played, they are winning a lot with the first goal is coming from set piece, and most of the time is I don't know why only in the Premier League it's always hassling the goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask this question to you guys actually. You see, a long time ago, not very long actually, where I know that goalkeeper has power. He can come with
Mm-hmm.
your knee high up to catch the ball. Nothing in front of him will. It gives him a certain immunity. What happened now?
I think the rule is still the same. I think
Mm-hmm.
goalkeepers do still have the power, but I want to hear what Matt says, right? Because he plays the goalkeeper
Yeah,
position,
here's the
right?
goalkeeper. I know
But
he comes out with his legs blaring on top. Get the
But
ball.
it's I don't know. Like if you ask me, right? Of course, as a keeper, you either play into their to the way. Of course, you play into their style in a sense of. From a goalkeeping standpoint, right? I agree. I noticed that a lot of matches this season is like they're all just crowding near the keeper and holding them, and
Yeah.
which eventually leads to a goal, right? So as a keeper, I think of course, I do encounter those scenarios as well, when we play socially and all whatnot, right? So it's either you play to that or you play against that. What you have, you see where I'm coming from, right?
I
It's like,
see it, but
yeah, you either let them do that to you and then like, oh, whatever, okay, boom.
or maybe
And then
the
you
current
concede, right?
people, they don't want to get they rather take the fall than going in hard and tough at getting injured in the process. That could be it also actually. But
That could be it, yeah.
the thing is that I don't the referees, I don't think this thing will stand in Europe. That's why I want to see in Arsenal when they play back Champions League, because they'll
Mm-hmm.
be applying the same tactics. Will it
mm,
Yep.
work out in Europe? I don't think so.
Yeah, you have a point there. May or
Yeah,
may not work. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
well, if they win, it's however they win the title, the Invincibles, and
Mhm.
I think the first title. I remember they won. They had the most shrewdest defense ever. This time, it's all about hassling goalkeepers and corners. We will
Yep.
remember that.
Yeah. So, but Sharif, over to you, man. What did you make of the entire previous three games? Obviously, that we all know what's coming. I mean, what has already, what has already transpired. But you
Mhm.
see, it's like this is the review that we spoke about this as well, right? Winnable games, United go and draw or lose. And then when the games that are supposed to like, it's
Yeah,
on gone case, United is about
yeah.
to lose this and all that, and then they win that, right? So it's coming from I mean, of course, from the previous matches from Aston Villa and United, and then of course Man United and Newcastle United, and
They
then after
played
that,
with a back four against Newcastle.
yeah. So Sharif, I want to hear your thoughts, man. What were your findings pertaining this the build up of these three matches and all that stuff?
Uh, yeah, for me, okay, just from a Man United point of view, right? I see that's nothing to be proud of, right? Because I
Mm-hmm.
think from our previous episode, I think I forgot which episode we were speaking on, where Man United is the only team that has the most easiest run,
Mm.
starting from Everton, right?
I think it was, yeah.
And
I remember.
yeah,
Yep.
and we started with Everton,
Mm-hmm.
and we couldn't win with a 10-man Everton at home. And
Yep.
and and this is how it happens, right? Until the game that which most of the footballing pundits were also saying that this is where Man United will start building momentum, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the games from Everton to the game eventually to
Yep.
Burnley tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is consists of 30 points, and
Mm-hmm.
from these 30 points, Man United able to snatch. Yes, there was certain big wins.
Mm-hmm.
Quote and unquote big wins with Crystal Palace, with Newcastle
Mm-hmm.
United, right?
Yep.
But total points that we managed to collect, it's only 13, 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still in the bucket of we are winning one game per month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 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 and
I'm
and
sorry,
and
man.
and
That,
and,
that
and
was
that's
sense, huh?
yeah, and that's not a good sign, especially
Mm-hmm.
when you have a good run of fixtures. And eventually, yeah, I might getting my ahead of this something, and eventually got someone removed from the
Mm.
club, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
of this, and yeah, so that's my take. That's my summary, because it was supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be yeah, an easy run, right? For Man United, but it seems
Mm-hmm.
they still struggle. And
Mm-hmm.
and from the overall of the Premier League, I am also disappointed with how or the last few games went, where big teams, well, we
Mm-hmm.
mentioned about the top or the title challenge, like Villas, the
Ah,
Cities and
Villa, not
Liverpool
Liverpool. Ah.
yeah, we're dropping we're dropping points. So
Mm-hmm.
it's getting much more easier for Arsenal, if you
Mm-hmm.
ask me, right?
Yep.
And yeah, and they could able to find winning ways. I think Cohen also
Mm-hmm.
did mention about the goalkeepers,
Mm-hmm.
the strategy of crowding goalkeepers and all.
Yep.
But yeah, so it's for me, it's disappointing from both sides, from Man United runs, and also from the other title contenders as well. They did drop points as well, right? So yeah.
Yep.
I
I
want to
agree
add
as well.
actually. Last season, around this time, MU was also sixth position. Huh?
There you go.
Mm. So
So
it's
it's yeah. So
so
yeah, go on, go on.
That
yeah.
that
So I mean, you see, on I mean, of course, on an overview, right? Before we delve in quite deeply as well. Um. Yes, we can still say, perhaps argue lah that yeah, it's United is probably not in a very bad position. I think they're
No, not bad
sitting
at
at
all.
they're
Actually,
not
yeah.
in a bad position. Yes, as much as we can say they are like 3 points to top four, but of course 3 points to almost bottom half, right? So it's a good problem to have there as well. But in both, I mean, both of y'all's opinions lah. Um, is this more of I don't know. I know there's more than just tactical problems at United.
I think
What else do y'all feel?
when I watch United games, I realize that Cunha is given the license to shoot from anywhere, to take
Mm-hmm,
the risk and everything.
mm-hmm,
It didn't work much, I think, the last few
mm-hmm,
games. They
mm-hmm,
definitely miss Brian and Burmo, who I think will
mm-hmm,
be arriving, Brian and
mm-hmm.
Ahmad. And they will
Yep.
arrive with what happened.
I
And,
feel sorry for them, man.
yeah. So I think in MU's case, MU is having an okay season, but it's not any better than Ruben Ten Hag had last season, actually.
You mean Ruben and Ten Hag? You mean?
Yeah, Ruben. No, no, no. Eric
Oh,
Ten
Ruben. Eric Ten Hag. Okay.
Ten Hag, I gabung.
Ruben Ten Hag.
Ruben Ten Hag. So it's
Yeah.
not any different from Eric Ten Hag last season. So
Mhm,
MU is going through that season. I mean, but it's you have to understand. MU currently have changed their system completely from a 4-3-3 system to a
Yep.
3-5-2-1 whatnot lah. And
Mm,
they're still in one way you can say that Ruben Amorim is doing okay.
mhm,
But I think the real problem is they don't know again how to use Sesko. Cunha is the only
mhm,
outlet. Uh, some of the goals is like I said. I think this is a team lah. They play in moments. I think that from what I see from the gameplay lah. So that is MU, and then they are also going through a massive injury crisis as well, especially in the defense.
Um. Well, oh yeah. I mean, okay. You can still say that Dilic is and Harry Maguire is still out.
Yeah,
Well, of course we have Licha Martinez who is back, but
but you
then
play
with
with the
the
guy from
injury
Aston.
of Bruno Fernandes. Now speaking of Bruno Fernandes, I want to ask Sharif now.
Mm.
Okay, this is my take, lah. Maybe you want to add on or you want to contradict, go ahead. But you see, with of course, squad depth has always been a talking point for the longest years in United, right? Now, with with Bruno Fernandes's injury, right? Yes, of course, Ruben Amorim did deploy, his backup, of course, his so-called deputy lah in Ugarte and all these players and all that stuff, right? Um, but still managed to salvage a point, or perhaps even if win also very narrow against, of course, against Newcastle we won, but then the other two is like we lost and then we drew.
Mm.
So my I don't know. My take is despite even having very lack of squad depth, he was still able to salvage points, right? So I don't know about your take, Sharif, on that. Do you think that what has transpired off late did it? I know it's big. It's more than just tactical and all this, right? But based on these few matches that we argue about, winnable games we tend to draw
Yeah,
or lose and all
the
that. But
last two games was very winnable.
yeah, so
For
so my
Wolves.
take on it is like we, yes, despite having lack of squad depth, still managed to salvage point. I don't know. I think that's it's kind of like a somewhat false positive lah. I would call it as a false positive lah.
But on the other
Yeah,
hand, the the teams above you and below you are also not doing that well. I mean, you have to see actually. You
exactly.
want to lose or draw when other teams are also doing the same. The teams above you,
Mm-hmm,
especially, and the
mm-hmm,
teams below
mm-hmm,
you.
mm-hmm.
So maybe it's a good time to have these results now.
Perhaps Sharif,
I
what
mean, football
what's
is
your
not.
take?
Wait, I just want to add one point. Football
Oh.
is not meant that you win all your games. You definitely will get somewhere. It's also what happens around other people actually. So
Mm-hmm,
right now,
mm-hmm.
for the bottom teams for below MU is without a manager. Chelsea will be without a manager, and they'll be going transition period and everything. The other teams below them will be happy about it actually.
Yeah.
So I mean, and this is also about moments. No one expected Maresca to be
Mhm.
sacked. No one expected Ruben Amorim to be sacked.
Not
And
sure. Maresca, we're not sure.
no, no, but we
I don't know,
didn't
but
expect. We didn't
yeah,
expect. I
nobody
mean,
expected.
I
Yeah.
mean, they are in the top 5. They are chasing for positions and cups and everything. It's
Mm-hmm,
not a
mm-hmm.
sackable. The sackable reasons were not on the pitch. So
Mm.
that's what I'm trying to say. So these are circumstances and situation which can change where your team trajectory is. So right now, even MU drawing. I mean, first of all, Leeds United is not an easy game for MU
Mm-hmm.
because of the so-called derby
Yep.
context.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, I think still it's okay. MU play Burnley, Brighton, and the hardest game will be Man City and Arsenal next.
Yeah, exactly. Sharif, your take, man.
I mean, I'm how do I say this? I know some United fans are optimistic, right? Of what Ruben is doing, but I'm not being negative or trying to be negative, right? But I'm
Mm-hmm.
just seeing what I'm seeing right now, right? I don't see any improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we can hide around the injuries, around one transfer windows
Okay.
and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But all those are being going through by other teams as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kugan Kugan stated the same thing as well. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
what looks better right now? Why we are looking at the table right now where Man United is? Oh, it's
Mm-hmm.
okay. We are still number 5 or number 6.
Mm-hmm.
Because other teams are losing. Other
Yep.
teams are not winning their games as well,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the goals and goals different, we the goals different are still are still
Yeah.
Yep.
negative, man. So so I and again the injury did start not the entire 10 game. The
Mm-hmm.
injury or Bruno got stuck I mean injured what when was it the Villa game, right?
The
Yep.
Villa game.
Villa game, right?
Yep.
That was only 3 games ago, right?
Yep.
And you really know when you pursue Mbuemo that you are going to lose him in the AFCON nations and everything with Ahmad as well, right? So so for me, you really know how to or you, at least my perception is at least the United together with Ruben Amorim they should already prepare for this. Things that they cannot control, yes, I agree, the injuries, but
Injuries.
those things that they can control are people leaving for international duties, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is where certain teams like teams that are playing for all the 4 titles
Mm-hmm.
would always think twice to get
Mm-hmm.
a regular start or a very active player from
Mm-hmm.
Africa, right?
Yep.
And if they do, they always have a proper depth
Backup.
or proper
Yep.
backup, right?
Except for
And
Liverpool.
and I remember as well that one press conference as well, before Mbuemo and Ahmad leaves, and I think certain journalism was also asking the same question as well. How are you going to cope? And he said, we know about this. We
Mm-hmm.
have a plan, and this is a time for youngsters to come in. But I know people are saying about uh the ownership, what they say, what they do, and everything. But Amorim also has to share the same blame as well. At least from my
Mm-hmm.
point of view, right?
Mm-hmm.
30 games, again, 30 points out of 10
Mm-hmm.
games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you manage to get 13 points. That's relegation. That's number 15. What do you call it? Form. And
Yep.
Kuhan said that as well. Last season we were 6 in this
Mm-hmm.
position, and we quickly fall down from the table because other team managed to get traction, managed to progress with their
Yep.
football, and
Yeah.
we
Mm-hmm.
keep on tumbling down. And we spoke about Newcastle building up slowly, and then we spoke about now Leeds building up their form, Aston Villa how they won the last 10 games. Things
Yeah.
can People did not thought Aston Villa, would survive. People thought Aston
No.
Villa will get
Yep.
in the relegation, right? With
Exactly.
their summer
Relegation.
with their summer windows,
Yeah.
with Ali
First
Watkins
five
not
games. Yeah.
exactly with their summer transfers, with the keeper, with the what do you call it, Ollie Watkins not performing. But
Yep.
but I will say the benefit of the doubt goes to Unai Emery. He managed to get 10 games, 10
Yeah.
winnable
And
games.
Oliver.
Exactly. What
So
a
what's the
run.
excuse?
So
Yeah. So what's the excuse for Ruben Amorim?
But
correct.
on the other hand, I think Sharif sees it as half empty lah. I think I see it as half full. But the point the point which I agree is
Uh,
MU doesn't have a European distraction.
Yes, exactly. That's
which
another point as
doesn't
well.
give United any excuse.
It's
Yes,
So yeah.
beneficial actually.
and and
Having
and
that.
and sorry to interrupt, Kohen, and that is why you were mentioning as well. Newcastle looked fatigued when they were playing with Man United. It's not that they do not
Yep.
want to play, but they were very tired to play. And I remember certain journalists and also experts as well that they question as well how, because we know Eddie Howe likes to play a very intense football, and
Yeah.
then you shared the
Yep.
video in the group as well, right? Let's
Yep.
bring the intensity to them. You can do that week in and week out, but right now when you are playing European football,
You
you can't
can't
do
do
that. and, and,
that.
Can't
and,
do
and,
that.
and and that is why the injury list goes also getting
Yep.
get,
Yep.
getting much bigger, right, as well.
Yep.
So you have everything on the side of Man United, Matt. You
Mm-hmm.
know you have a good run of fixtures. You are meeting, yes, quote and unquote big teams like Crystal Palace, Aston Villa,
Mm-hmm.
Newcastle to name, but those are teams that are also in European competition.
Exactly.
And yeah, a good thing that you could get results from them, but so the game that they couldn't fight, or when they are at the same level where
Mm-hmm.
let's say for example Wolves, right?
Yep.
1 week, 1 game, they
Yep.
couldn't match the intensity, they
Yeah.
couldn't match, and
Yep.
and and, and the game plan is, it's it's even though and the game plan is always direct, it's always quick.
Mm-hmm.
Get the ball. It's like a basketball. We watch the Leeds game, right? It's like two teams
Mm-hmm.
playing basketball, but do not know where's the hoop is.
Where's the
Where's
goal?
the
Okay,
goal?
yeah, exactly. It's like I'm sorry. For Leeds, I understand because they just got promoted
Getting
from a
form.
championship
Yeah.
from a championship
Yep.
side, which is, I understand those type of
Yep.
football. But Man United from number
Yep.
15, and then you say this right now, oh, we are improving because of this. No, this is ridiculous. This is not the football that I'm expecting. Man United to play for a long run.
Yeah, I can totally agree, man. Totally agree to that. Which eventually now, what has already transpired to the sacking of Ruben Amorim. Well, of course, I get a
But I
lot of
don't, I don't, I don't
yeah,
think it's the
yeah,
sacking is because of what happened on the pitch.
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
It's
I
more
agree.
than just whatever has happened on the pitch,
Yeah,
lah. I
I
mean,
don't
it's
think that's the sad part actually. I mean, like for the sackings of the two managers is not what happened in the pitch, I personally like to see what happens on the pitch where it leads to a proper sack.
Yep.
So
but it's a funny thing, Now you see with this sacking, right? I'm still having this question in my head, right? I'm gonna ask you all. I'm not sure what y'all's response to it, lah. But I'm gonna ask it anyway. Yeah. Um. You see, Bruno Fernandes was on the brink of being sold.
mm,
Okay, was on the brink of on the verge of being sold. Sorry, I rephrase. Yeah, on the verge of being sold. But of course, he decided not to leave the club. As much as United was very open to sell him, but he stayed put. Was admitted by the player himself that Ruben Amorim told him to stay. Right, wants him to stay. He's a key player, important player, etc., etc. And now with his sacking, my question to you all: what happens to Bruno Fernandes after this?
he will retain his place if you
I
are the
think he will
info.
leave.
Sorry, you agree with me?
I think he will leave if there
Mm,
is a proper money and proper financing, right, in the
mm-hmm,
January transfer window, because the Arab League also plays a different calendar, right,
Mm.
yep,
or in summer, but it all depends on the family as well. For me, I know some people say, oh, Bruno, yes, maybe there's a loyalty and everything, but
No
mm-hmm,
lah.
it's a family matter, right? Wife
mm,
stays. I do not want to shift. I do not want to change.
Yeah, she likes
Uh,
London.
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
sorry, she
I'm
likes
not
Manchester.
Manchester. Yeah. I do
Yeah,
not. I cannot change the school systems. And then
it's
if
coming from
she is
experience, huh? This one.
yeah, exactly. And it's also a different culture, right? I mean,
yep.
they are moving into a different culture,
But it's
different
a fat
language.
paycheck. It settles you for the next few years. You can go there for a year, like Jordan Henderson.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the option is always there. But if you
Yep.
were the next manager for MU, you would want him to be there.
Definitely yes.
Yeah.
Definitely yes. Because clearly, even though how problem Bruno Fernandes is,
Mm-hmm.
clearly you could see without Bruno, Man United plays much more worse, right?
Yep.
But stating that fact as well, we got to move on. We got to move on because he's 31. this year, and
Yep.
he will be 32 next year. And I did mention in
Ceiling
the
will drop.
group chat as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's getting devalued. I mean, for him to compete with the number 10 position with I don't know which puppet going to come in for Man United right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Adam Fletcher.
Yeah, I know Darren Fletcher is a temporary fix, right? But we saw
Apparently, uh, well, a topic for another episode. But just to add that apparently he has been in all levels of the club hierarchy. I mean, the youth setup and everything. So he knows. I mean, this is chance, I guess. Yeah.
I think I think this is where when in any corporate world, right? Where you have certain workers who you know what, I just follow lah. I janji I have a paycheck at the end of the month, right?
Doers lah,
Uh,
doers.
Hey,
you know
but the
the
corporate is always right. That is the message we are getting here. Corporate and your
exactly
board
exactly.
members is always right. They know what they're doing.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to trust and grace, and I think yeah, Darren Fletcher, it's a little bit how do I say, lucky in that right. And I have no grudge or no negative thoughts him taking over, but clearly what do you call that, for now, and since we are touching this topic, clearly you cannot trust the upper level anymore, because y- you've been called out. And then we also mentioned about the 3 months ago you were saying that you're going to back this manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we also shared the topic when we discussed, was it episode 5 or episode 6, right? that
Episode
that
6, yes.
Yes, that this performance of Man United cannot be boiled down to the manager as well, because
Mm-hmm.
the competency of the upper
Mm-hmm.
level, right? From my
Yep.
brother Jason Wilcox, I forgot the new scouting department guy, and then of
Mm-hmm.
course Jimmy Ratcliffe.
Mm-hmm.
They had they have not shown anything that could able to gain trust and respect, right,
Mm-hmm.
from the United fan base, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually disappointed with the United fan base, where how aggressive we are with the Glazers.
Yep.
But right now, with
Mm-hmm.
the with Ineos at helm,
Mm-hmm.
we need ex-players, pundits, or legends to
Yep.
question them, and they are keeping quiet. Maybe again, maybe because Jim Ratcliffe's a British guy. He's one of
Yeah, that's
us,
what I'm doing
right?
at.
Orang
Yeah,
kampung.
Orang
yeah,
kampung.
exactly. And we seen that
Mm-hmm.
culture, right? Else,
Mm-hmm.
maybe some people do not like me to say, and that's why
Mm-hmm.
I feel David Moyes get the job after succeeding
Mm-hmm.
with Sir Alex as well, right? And it is really hard as well for Liverpool to accept
Yep.
Jurgen Klopp as well. So the Premier League is very British centric, right? We got to accept that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
and
mean,
and and definitely promoting British players. You could see
and managers.
every and managers. You could see
Yep.
every press conference. Not even Amorim. When you see young talents, young British talent comes up, they hype up, and then they question them. Why this person not
Mm-hmm.
playing? Why
Mm-hmm.
do you see him? Yeah, blah blah blah. Yada
Yep.
yada yada. Right. So
The British media is also their own. I mean, they are also the worst enemy for all the young players, the English players actually.
yep yep.
So yeah.
Agree.
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah. So of course, to address a little bit on the viewers, right? That yeah, I mean I know there are some highlights on, that has led to Ruben Amorim's sacking. But for the very first time, we will be releasing a very special episode ironing out the entire, do I dare say chronology in this case? If I'm using the right damn word lah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it's gonna be
Forensic
a
analysis.
the forensic analysis and all that, what has
Yeah.
transpired to the sacking. But also, this is as per request from fans to have something very special, and we hear you as well. And yeah, we will be doing that as well. So we will be gathering thoughts and feedback and everything under the sun from United fans on what do they think about the entire sacking of Ruben Amorim. So stay tuned to our very special episode coming your way very soon. But of course, we've gone from Maresca's you want to say dismissal, his resignation, whatever, to Ruben Amorim sacking. And now rumor has it, that I'm not sure how true, but Slot, Arthur Slot is
He got this
also
weekend.
probably
He got up to
something.
this
I
weekend.
don't know. Kuhan, you were talking about this. I know. I think sometime yesterday you were mentioning about rumor has it about Arne Slot is given until this weekend. So again, these rumors, whether true or not true, maybe you could take us through.
I mean, it is a rumor, so we don't know whether it's true or not. But based on how Liverpool has been playing of late, I think it's. I mean, they got. Uh, they got 3 wins out of 5, and the last 2 wins was not so great actually. And see that they. I mean, the last game I saw them, they are playing with Frimpong, who's playing the Salah position. Although he gave the assist, Gravenberch, but it was his gameplay, the optics was not good at all. And of course the idea of winning their last 2 matches is very important to maintain their league position. They have Isak, which gone injured, and then Ekitike was pulled off as well. So they're having a striker crisis. Chiesa is not exactly playing as a striker. So I think with that much of money being spent in the summer and not challenging the title, because they are third position, but then they are a bit far off from Villa. So they're not even close actually. So this can be a problem for Liverpool. And they're getting lucky as well because that Wirtz goal is offside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See
Right,
properly.
right.
It is
Okay.
offside. I mean, like I don't know what VR did. I mean, they said that there is a 10 cm margin of error which was applied. But if you look,
Okay.
the penalty spot. So
Okay.
there is an intersection between the lighter shaded grass and the dark shaded grass.
Yep.
You look there, it was clear that Wirtz is offside.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, and they gave it
okay.
onside, and I was so happy. And they won it. And
They
Gravenberch
drew.
goal.
I think they drew against
Gravenberch goal came at the 94th minute again,
Yep.
and then everyone thought, oh, here is Liverpool last minute expert. They can
Yep.
come. I mean, they create Liverpool
They
plays
scored
like
back.
that, and then they make it like prime MU coming back. Which I cannot accept lah, because they did it a couple of times season, and then thank God Harrison Reed gave a stunner, and I was so happy because that's
Yo.
crucial. Because if they
Yep.
would have won that game again, it'll be a mini top 4 league already.
That's true.
So,
Like you were
there
saying,
is
yeah.
there is a footballing god out there lah.
So there is a god of football out there.
There is a god of football out there lah.
Oh man, so yeah, man. So, but again, it's you mentioned it's only rumors, so we don't know
Only
how
rumors.
true is that.
Only
And of
heard it
course,
first, yeah.
equally, but of course, just before we end this episode, to our viewers, stay tuned to our very special episode where we are covering the depth of the sacking of Ruben Amorim, and of course, we will be covering some rumors as well that transpired apparently as well. Yeah, that not just pre-Leeds, post-Leeds United match, and perhaps maybe since before. Okay lah, probably one more question very quickly, rapid fire, if can, just to actually connect to the next episode, right? Now, of course, yes, interim manager is Darren Fletcher. But there are also rumors on a few managers lined up to take over the helm at Man United. Now, your top 3 choices. Sharif, I know you have mentioned before, right? Many episodes ago, your preferred choice. But maybe if you want to just iron out one more time. So maybe we'll start with you, Sharif. Your top 3 choice to take over the helm at United.
Not to be disrespectful, yeah, Matt. But my answer is 3 words. I don't care, because it's not gonna happen. Because
Oh my
because
God.
no, because it's gonna be the same thing as well. It's gonna be the same thing after 18 months, after 2 years, right? We are going to sit back here again, and
Yeah,
then we are going to discuss again
yeah.
who is the right one. I've
So,
been saying from day one, from I think uh was it the Greensby when
yep,
I am
since
Jabatan
then, yep.
Perikanan. Ineos need to go. They
Yes.
show they are
Ineos
not
need to be
competent enough.
replaced, not the
Yes,
manager.
Mhm.
simple as that. You cannot have you can we can go through A to Z.
Mhm.
Uh, Identifying the best manager, right?
Mhm.
Let's see, if you bring Klopp as well, Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola
It's
into
gonna be the
MU.
same.
Exactly, because
Mm.
why you have your top people who are not competent enough to do good decisions, and
Mhm.
then you have your players who are lazy, who are cowards, who could not
Mhm.
know how to play basic football.
Mhm.
Look at Casemiro yesterday with Leeds. He could not make two passes. That
Mhm.
is a Champions League winner midfield, right? We are not
Mhm.
asking him to chase. So yeah, not to be disrespectful, but I don't care.
He said,
Uh,
I
uh,
don't care.
you can
So
bring
Mhm.
you can bring a scarecrow in the dugout tomorrow as well, right? And I would not be surprised as well because
Mhm.
United it's done.
It's just in
Really,
disarray lah. I mean,
it's done.
mm,
If you bring anyone, it will not
mhm.
change anything.
Yep.
Why I am really annoyed, especially to United fans who feels that okay, now is the time to build. We are going to return.
Okay.
The last time we met, I remember the cycle it was always 3 years. Now it's 18 months.
Eight,
It's
14.
getting worse.
This guy only
14.
14. So wow. So I don't know, Kuhan, if you
I, I,
wanna
I got a list. I got a list.
you have
Go
a
for
list,
it.
huh?
If you have a list, go ahead.
I got a list.
Rapid fire,
Okay,
man. Rapid fire. Who do you think should
Gareth
take the helm?
Southgate, Gareth Southgate,
Mm.
Glasner, the Sunderland manager, Enzo Maresca, Eddie Howe, and
I
Unai Emery.
more
They
than
should
three.
go for all. I mean, Unai Emery is a top manager,
He
and
could not survive Arsenal. He could not survive the pressure cooker of Man
but
United.
but the thing is that that's why MU is the best place for him to shine.
Mm.
Pressure? I don't think so. He
I
cannot.
mean, Arsenal pressure, but Arsenal learned their lesson. I mean, they had 5 seasons
Mhm.
with Arteta. Okay,
Yep.
just to give a recap. Actually, you see, the top three teams at the moment have managers who are above 3 years of management in their respective clubs.
Mhm.
So that tells something actually of keeping
I
your man.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Arteta is the living proof, right? When you have a proper board of directors, when you have a
Who
footballing
don't
people,
listen to Gary Neville?
exactly, who has their own idea,
It's like,
who understands football, and then you have Arteta who builds that back, and then you have players who
mhm.
understands the what his division is, right, and who willing to fight for, right, and you could see, right, even though people were seeing that okay, Gyökeres did not score, but Gyökeres is pulling people or pulling the defenders towards him, and that's why
Yes.
you're seeing a lot of goal scoring from
And
right,
he's getting a
from
lot of
Yep.
corners too.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So you see, they are playing like a team. They are even Julian Timber. Look at him. He can play left back, center
Yep.
back, right back,
Correct.
right. And here I thought Arsenal will struggle with their injuries. Matt, you
But
talk
no.
about injuries.
Yeah.
They went through injuries. They went through the entire backline injury. Only Julian
Correct.
Timber was the
Yep.
only starting
Yeah,
11, and they
Exactly.
can still win games.
Correct.
Martin Odegaard, their captain, their playmaker, it's like losing Bruno, and
Mm.
they still win
They
games.
still can, yes.
Win
So,
games and not collect
Even
1 point.
without Declan Rice, they can still win games.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Without
correct.
Declan
Without
Rice,
Saka, they can still
without
win.
Saka, yes, the list
We,
goes on, man.
I
The
mean,
list
that's what
goes on.
champions are made of, lah. That's what champions are made of.
Exactly,
Yeah.
so,
and that is right. Arteta is the living proof. When you have,
yeah.
it's not about Arteta being good because he has the proper structure for
Yep.
himself to deliver. Simple as
And the
that.
trust of the board members.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. He
Yes,
has
exactly.
gained that.
Trust of the board members, the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can
So,
bring Pep
yeah.
Guardiola. I mean, you can mention any names
Yeah.
in Man United, but they couldn't.
Mm.
They would not. They
They
would not
won't.
survive. What will
So,
happen, Matt? Sorry again. What
mm.
will happen? We're gonna get one of two, right? Like a glimpse. Oh yeah, qualify for the Champions
Moments.
League. Won the FA Cup, and that's it. And
And
that's it.
that's the end of it. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen this season, to be honest with you.
Maybe not also. Maybe not also. Yeah,
Not
probably
yeah.
not also, right? After all this happened. So,
No, what I mean with the new manager, with the new
yeah,
manager,
with the new
right?
manager, exactly. So, interim lah, new interim, whoever I
No,
mean, of course,
new
we'll tell
permanent manager, not the
even with
interim.
permanent
New-
manager for that fact.
yeah.
So of course we will end this episode by me just saying that it's safe to say for me, probably my own uh, honest opinion, that Man United to me, it's been categorized as the do-nothing club, except sack their managers, just like my T-shirt mentions, right? So with that, of course, stick around to our very special episode coming to you very soon in the next couple of days. And till then, this is me, Matt, your host, Kuhan and Sharif. We will see you in our next episode. So stick around. Peace out. Cheers.
Bye.